4AD, baby. Been hunting this bear all week.
I grunted at him. He come running back in. We just smoked another giant.
Just an absolute giant. Lifetime bull for me.
Team 200 is presented by Moon Guide. Plan your best hunt.
So my passion for bow hunting started at an early age, and whitetail's always been the bread and butter for me, but every year we look for more and more opportunities to get out in the field with our Hoyts, and turkey is high on that list. Of course, elk as well, but turkey every spring in Kansas, there's not a better place to be if you're a bow hunter in the spring chasing gobblers. Chris and I had a really good hunt last year. Chris was able to get set up over the shoulder. We had some hot birds. Had him fired up with the Esh striker and the Esh calls. This bird was in our decoy for probably 5 minutes, and I was just waiting for that one opportunity to get drawn back and put a radical broadhead through him.
Was he in the decoy?
And I gotta say, this kill in particular is gonna stick with me for a long time, because I don't ever remember having a bird this close to me for so long, with minimal brush in between me and the turkey. Just like I said, only within feet of me, and this bird was just so committed to the decoy and believed in our setup so much, and it was just truly a deadly setup. But just put on the show of a lifetime, and it was something I'll remember forever.
That black eagle zipped right through him. Rad broadhead stuck in the dirt, probably about 8 inches through the bird into the dirt. Just performed, man. That's all you can say.
So this year we kind of have the same mindset for chasing these birds as we have in the past, and that's on the ground, chasing these birds with no blind and a bow. And I had this Whitetail Institute food plot that we planted last fall, and of course we always plant these plots primarily for deer, but their benefits kind of linger past deer season. Obviously shed hunting is great, you know, keeping those deer around, but turkey's kind of last on the list, and of course with the fawn crop as well. But I had a spot in mind, and this happened to be a Whitetail Institute food plot that we planted last fall. I knew there was a lot of birds there, basically all fall and winter, and that would be a perfect place to set up opening day.
That bird's pretty close.
And I just love that feeling, being on the ground, outside of a blind with nothing in between me and those turkeys except for a little bit of brush maybe, and it's a high intense moment just trying to get drawn and making that shot. It's pretty cool.
That was a great hunt, dude.
It's like a 2-year-old bird.
You know, turkey season is a blast. I love doing it, but just to be honest, it's just kind of killing time and waiting to get those cameras back out late June or early July, getting the 30-06 mineral back out, just looking for those big bucks again in the summer that I lost trail of during the winter months.
Coming up next.
giant deer on the ground.
By far the biggest buck I've ever killed.
And I had a Onyx pointed. He didn't pick up anything. Gave me a 30-yard shot.
Thank God I have an Ozonics.
Start seeing more deer more often and closer than you ever thought possible with Ozonics. Ozonics is the only product that actively and continually attacks game spooking odor in the downwind airstream during your entire hunt, allowing you to beat an animal's #1 defense, its nose.
So basically, I make it my mission every summer to locate bucks that I've been dreaming about all winter. You know, maybe it's a big 4-year-old or a buck that busted off the year before, a deer I hadn't encountered with anything. I just want to see that deer the next year, and that's my favorite part of hunting probably, is just seeing how these deer progress. And there's no better way to do it than getting a 30-06 mineral out, getting the trail cameras out every summer and catching up with them in early July. And this summer there's 2 deer that I really have in my mind I really want to catch up with and get photos of, and just try to pin down any type of information that's going to help me this fall. One of them in particular is on a lease that I have. It's just a big, heavy, narrow 10-pointer. Besides that, there's a buck that I have really high hopes for. You know, it's one of those deer that you can see at a young age and you just know he's destined for greatness. He's got the points, he's got the frame, the character, the trash, everything. This is a deer that I've had pictures of for 3 years. You know, as predicted, that big buck disappears in the summer, unfortunately. And I'm excited to see this really big buck show back up on my lease that I had a lot of history with. Again, it's one of those deer that I was trying to find over the summer. I just couldn't locate him, but here he is in October. I've got him on camera and he's hitting a Banks feeder. I know he's on that farm and I'm pumped up and ready to get after him.
Some body blast right below me here. That's a tease right there. November 7th. I just had a doe bust out of the woods right here with a looked like a nice frame 8-point. Of hunting, by far the biggest buck I've even got to lay eyes on, so cool encounter nonetheless. Haven't had a shooter on camera since October 28th, and today is November 16th.
Got out mid-morning and pulled the cart on the way out, and I plugged that chip into the computer, and I can't believe it. That deer had broke half his rack off, and it's the middle of the rut. I've invested all my time so far into this deer, and I'm basically starting from scratch.
Coming up next.
Moved from one giant deer that broke, was kind of down in the dumps, and here we are just a few short days later, and I'm after another booner.
Raw frozen scents provide 5 unique scent products. Raw Peak Estrus attracts rutting bucks and is guaranteed to contain 30 plus picograms per milliliter of estrogen levels. Raw Multi-Buck Urine combines urine from rutting, dominant, and young bucks to set off a dominance frenzy. Raw Scrape Lure introduces a new buck and a new doe to fire up scrape use. Raw Calming Scent creates calming through the concept of safety in numbers. Raw Body Blast is the first whitetail body scent, the closest thing yet to how a buck recognizes a doe in the wild. Raw Frozen Scents, always fresh, no water or preservatives, and 100% money-back guarantee.
Well, bad news. The buck that I was hunting, the big buck I just got a picture of, broke one of his sides off right above the brow tine. We're talking 175, maybe more inch deer. The good news is there might be another big deer in here to break him like that. Shifting gears for now.
Basically, that's just been ripped out from under me, and move over to a new farm where we had a lot of cameras over the summer. And I can't believe what I see on the trail cam. It's this big giant buck. It's the deer from the summer, that giant buck. I can't believe it. Moved from one giant deer that broke, was kind of down in the dumps, and here we are just a few short days later, and I'm after another booner. It's crazy, crazy lucky to have that many big bucks, and I feel like I'm back in the game. I get all my lone wolves over there. I'm ready for any wind direction, any scenario. I've got funnels, I've got food, I've got everything you could imagine. I'm just ready to rock.
Cannot wait to get in this tree. I actually have one good encounter out of this tree. Missed a buck, or bad encounter, I guess. Missed a deer a couple years ago at about 27 yards right here. Shot right over his back.
So I'm just super excited to have an opportunity to hunt this giant buck, and just a few short days later, I can't believe what happens. This giant buck literally breaks half his rack off, and even worse, in a matter of probably 5 days, I lose 2 booner class deer, each busted half a rack off, and went from being the luckiest guy in the world, having 2 world-class deer to hunt, to basically being left with nothing. And of course, this whole time I've kept these cameras rolling on these same properties that I've been hunting, and had those bucks break off. And I check the camera, and just kind of blindsides me, this giant buck. Just beautiful series of photos of this deer, and a buck that I've never seen before, no history, no knowledge of, and I'm just beside myself. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Just pulled up to the spot here, getting ready to sneak in. But really excited to hunt tonight because of that. Got a red moon, we've got really good weather, we've got a great wind, and I've got a really big buck, so a guy can't really ask for much more than that.
Biggest factor of my hunting season this year, I was kind of pushing it to the end. I had that red moon week circled at the end of the month, and I knew that if I could get the best cold day coexisting with that red moon guide, I'd be in the chips.
Coming up next.
But that radical broadhead, I put it right through there, and it didn't skip a beat. Just went straight through that sucker. Definitely the biggest deer I've ever shot.
For over 2 decades, the Moon Guide has been the #1 rated tool for serious hunters, telling you when giant whitetails will move and where you need to hunt. Now available as a mobile app, the Moon Guide gives you parcel data, enhanced weather radar, exclusive discounts, tips from the pros, and the deadly red moon data. Are you tired of hunting nocturnal trail camera bucks? Do you ever wonder why some bucks only show up during daylight on certain days each year? The Deer Hunter's Moon Guide is here to help.
My scouting tells me where to hunt. The Moon Guide tells me when.
Our best day hunting ever. 2 unkillable bucks, both taken on the red moon.
For effective preseason scouting, scheduling time off work, planning out-of-state hunts, and increasing your overall hunting success, simply check the Moon Guide's calendar to find the best days, times, and hunting locations to catch a mature deer on his feet during daylight hours.
2 giant bucks last year, both taken on the red moon. Plan your best hunt at moonguide.com.
So like I said, I got a picture of this buck that morning. It's the red moon week. This is my kill week, and it's the end of season. I've just got an eerie feeling. I've got to take every precaution on this day. We've got the weather, we've got the moon. I'm doing everything I possibly can to make this just a perfect setup. We've got the raw scent out at the base of the tree. Get up in the stand. Ozonics is hooked in. Black Eagle knocked on the Hoyt, and I'm kicked back and ready for a great evening.
Red moon, north wind, northwest wind's great for this tree. Second time in this stand this year. So, gotta get ready to go here. Starting to spit a little snow.
all of a sudden I see a couple little flurries dropping and that wind switches on me. And I'm thinking, oh no, my perfect setup, my perfect night might have just took a turn for the worse. And in fact, the wind was blowing right to where the best cover on this farm was. But I've got the ozonics rolling. If anything's gonna save me at this point, it's gonna be the ozonics. So I'm watching this buck, this really nice 4-year-old 9-pointer, laying down some footage, just kind of panning with him as he walks by me, point blank range, and my eyes are going this way, filming this buck, and I see something in my peripheral vision, and here he is, the buck that I was in here after.
This is real. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I could not believe what I saw out of my peripheral vision. But that radical broadhead, I put it right through there and it didn't skip a beat. Just went straight through that sucker. I can't believe it. We've got a giant deer on the ground. Oh my God. You can't say enough about the red moon. It absolutely is real. Let's see, it's been about 10 minutes. It was like 5 o'clock and the 2 really nice bucks came in and the biggest buck of my life. 10-yard shot and he's dead in the woods right there. Unreal. Can't believe it. Look how high we are right here in this setup.
So I've got this big buck on the ground, burning up the phone, and got buddies coming to help get this big deer out of the woods.
Just found him. Definitely the biggest deer I've ever shot. That's it, tagged out.
That is it.
Beautiful sight. Check this guy out.
Oh my gosh, this thing's gonna look like it.
Unreal.
It's gonna look like a 200 typical.
Can't say enough about the red moon. I've been watching this deer since December 11th. Today is the 29th, and I made my move tonight, and it's the second time I know that he's moved in daylight. This morning was the first time, and I knew I had to get in the stand tonight. By far the biggest buck I've ever killed. Couldn't be more excited. Thanks to the landowner. We're gonna enjoy this night for sure.
And here I am, I've got my hands on this deer, just reflecting on a roller coaster season. I just can't believe it. It's one of those stories that you tell your buddies, like, yeah, I was hunting 3 different world-class deer this year and I killed one. It just doesn't even sound right, but that's the story of my season last year. And this is by far my biggest buck ever.